Good morning and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren on the Books. Another Friday reading vlog it is, the last for the month of April. And reading we shall do. I love my hair at the moment. I washed it. Having a fringe means you really have to commit to some time to get your hair looking nice. And I've just got up and David said, oh, your hair looks nice. So yeah, I'm aware I look like I've just got out of bed, which I have. So this Friday reading vlog, as always, is going to span over the weekend. I thought I'd tell you what we're up to at the weekend. So today, it has just started raining, so I will not be putting any washing out. So I need to get the heated air out. God, I thought you'd think by mid to the end of April, you wouldn't be using that heated air out. But alas, oh, it really is sort of like that, you know, that thin rain that gets you really wet. That's what's happening outside. So put washing on the air, that's how I'm going to start. I've got to go to Bluewater today, which is a big shopping centre in the southeast of England, because one of my colleagues is getting married and we did a collection for her, and I'm going to get her Bluewater vouchers with the money, and because I'm going to her wedding tomorrow, so that's something I'm doing tomorrow. I'm also planning on doing parkrun again tomorrow. I did it last week, was very pleased with myself. I've just hit week 3. Well, my first run will be of week 3 of the Couch to 5K programme. So if I do parkrun tomorrow, because I'm not going to do it if it's like miserable weather, but if it's normal weather, I will do it. Yeah, the first week is, I think it's 2 minutes running, 3 minutes walking on like 6 maybe, 6. I don't know, but yeah, I'll be doing parkrun tomorrow. And then Sunday, we're going to Chatham Dockyard, where I've been a few times. That's where they do the Call the Midwife tour. But they've got a lifeboat display. It's been 100 years of the RNLI, and my cousin Laura's husband Tom, we got him tickets to the collection as his birthday gift. So we're going to go along there and take a nice picnic. So that's how the weekend's planning out. So quite busy. We are so busy at the moment. Literally every single night after work this week I've done something. Every single night after work next week I'm doing something. Got a busy weekend next weekend. When will it start? Oh no, next weekend isn't that much of a busy weekend, I don't think. But yeah, we've got it feels really busy at the moment, but things will plateau, I'm sure, as they always do. Daphne's just over there playing with her toy, being quite cute actually. So reading plans for the weekend then. So as always, we'll be ending the vlog on a poem for every spring day. We'll be at some point listening to a piece of music, a piece of classical music, and having a little think at your thoughts of that. And we'll be making vanilla and bay loaf from the sweet roasting tin. We've got to the loaf cake section, so we've worked our way through tray bakes, we've worked our way through muffins. Muffins was lovely, like all of them, so good. And I'll be revisiting some of those, I think, for gifts and stuff. But I think loaf tin cakes always look like make quite nice gifts as well. So this one is the vanilla and bay loaf. Now David has made this one before. He made it for his dad for his birthday, but we didn't taste any of it, so we don't know what it's like. Loaf tins I'm a bit nervous about, because I've made loaf tins before, and because they're quite dense, they're hard to get right all the way through. But that being said, I've done, I mean, what week of the year are we in? Alexa, what week is it this week of 2024? Is that the right way to ask?
Here is what I found. 1st of January 2024 was on a Monday.
No, that's not what I cared for. Well, anyway, I've been doing lots and lots of baking this year, so hopefully I'll have a few more skills to bring to this. And then, yeah, we've got a section of loaf tins, which I'm quite looking forward to. So that will be being made. I'm sort of thinking maybe I'll make that on Saturday or on Sunday to take to when we see Tom and Laura and their two, because it might be quite nice to have that, but then it also might be really dry. Maybe the first one I won't take away. Maybe I will make that today. We will see. Right, okay, so that's that. So with the reading side of things, if you've been following me on Instagram, or even I've been mentioning it on here, my reading this year really hasn't been that great. And considering it is now coming up to the end of April, and I do a sort of like mid-year best books of the year so far in July, which is less than 3 months away, I can't say that I've read any books this year that have been better than other books that I've read on previous best books of the year or best books of the year so far. what I'm saying is that my reading has been a bit meh. So some of the stuff that I have read that I've enjoyed have been reread. So recently reread Bridget Jones's Diary, which I always love. I listened to the audiobook of Babel at the beginning of the year, which I read last year and loved it even more this year. But yeah, anything else that I've read, we've struggled to go above a 4. Now, I did give 2 books that I'd read from the Women's Prize for Fiction longlist 4 stars. I gave Brotherless Night and Nightbloom 4 stars, but on reflection, I think they're probably more of a 3.5. I still think they're great books and I'd love to see them on the shortlist, but yeah, they haven't stayed with me quite as much as I thought they would, and that, to me, is an indicator of a 4-star book or a 5-star book. So yeah, so reading this year has been a bit blur. So at the moment, when I had a little look, definitely stop being so cute, when I had a look through my reading journal to see what I've read so far that I've loved, I've really struggled. So let me just give you a rundown of what the stars I've had. 3 stars, 1 star, 4 star, that was for so late in the day, 2.5 stars, 2.5 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, 2.5 stars, 1.5 stars, 2.5, 2.5, 4.5, which was Welcome to St. Hell by Lewis Hancock, which was a graphic novel about Lewis. Lewis was born female. I did quite enjoy that. I don't know if it was 4.5 though, but I did quite enjoy that, yeah. 3 stars. 4 stars was Maiden by Phoebe Wynne. Again, on reflection, probably a 3.5. 2 stars, 2.5. 5 stars was Babel, 2 stars, 3 stars, 1.5 stars, 2 stars. So I think this is the most I've ever given, like 1.5 and 2 stars. They very rarely appear normally. Small Things Like Leave, I gave 4 stars. I stand by that, but that was a reread. 3.5, 4.5 to The Paying Guests, again, a reread. Yeah, so not great at all. This month in particular, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 5 stars to Bridget Jones's Diary, 1.5 and 1 star. Bad reading. So I've decided to sort of shelve the Women's Prize at the moment. The long list comes out, the short list comes out next week, and I will reassess myself then. I have read from the long list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from them. So I've read A Trace of Sun, did not enjoy. River East, River West, did not enjoy. Western Lane, did not enjoy. The Maiden was fine, but I think there's better historical fiction out there. The Wren, didn't really enjoy. Nightbloom, did enjoy. I DNF'd Enter Ghost. 8 Lives of a Century-Year-Old Trickster, did not enjoy. And Brotherless Night, I did enjoy. So yeah, I mean, I will be reading Restless, Dolly, Maunder, because that's the book that we're reading for our Patreon book club, which is next Sunday. But yeah, and I have all the rest of them sort of around, so if any of them get in the shortlist, and I will endeavour to read the shortlist. But yeah, so I think because I've been sort of like prescribed, which I love doing, I love getting the long list and getting hold of those books and reading them, but I just feel like I deserve a treat and to read something that I'm really going to enjoy. So I've sort of shelved everything really. And also next month is May, and I said I'd do Daphne du Maurier May, where I'm going to read some Daphne du Maurier books and some books about Daphne du Maurier and some retellings and stuff like that. And I still plan to do that. But maybe with a bit more sort of interspersion of stuff that I'm enjoying. So I've just been through my library books that I've got and 2 books from my shelf, things that I feel like I could read now and really enjoy. And I think this weekend is going to be about giving these a go, and if I'm enjoying them, then cracking on with them, and if I'm not, then starting something else. So I've got 5 fiction books, 6 fiction books and 1 non-fiction book. We'll start with the non-fiction. So I've read 2 books from the Women's Prize non-fiction shortlist. Listened to the audiobook of Thunderclap by Laura Cumming, which the thing is about non-fiction is that it's very, very niche, isn't it, a lot of the time? And if you're not particularly interested in that niche topic, then it's going to be boring to you. And both of the books, well no, one has been boring, one has been infuriating. So I read Thunderclap by Laura Cumming, and that's about the Dutch Golden Age of art, and I have no interest in the Dutch Golden Age of art. And sure, the writing's beautiful, and she talks about her father, who was also an artist and things like that, but the bottom line for me is that I found that book intensely boring, and I can't believe I listened to 6 hours of it, but I did. So I ended up giving that 1 star, and I mean, maybe of course I was always going to give that 1 star, so not for me. And then the other one I've been listening to is Doppelganger by Naomi Klein, which is, on the face of it, is a book about Naomi Klein, who is an author and sort of quite prolific on Twitter and things like that. And went through a phase in her life where she got mistaken for Naomi Wolf, who is also an author and quite prolific on Twitter, and their sort of political views do not match up. So it's about that. However, the majority of the book is about how different Naomi Klein and Naomi Wolf's views are on COVID. And Naomi Wolf's views on COVID, to me, are insane. So not the author of the book, the person who is the doppelganger. So many conspiracy theories and unfounded stuff about medical, and like having worked in like the NHS whilst COVID was going on, like reading that just angers me, like that people would like, yeah, just there's just so much sort of like bonkers stuff in there. And I think I didn't need to revisit this. Like this already, like this makes me angry anyway. And if anything, when I was reading the book, I was getting like agitated. So I've still got about 3 hours of that left, so I'll give that. So that's just been like an agitating book for me. So it's definitely got a reaction out of me. But the book is not about what it said it was about, which is about someone online having the same identity as you. Like that is not what the book has ended up being about. So yeah, so I haven't enjoyed either of those. So non-fiction, I feel like has to be maybe a little bit specific, well, a lot specific to something you're interested in. And some of my favourite books that I've ever read have been non-fiction. So like Names for the Sea, Strangers in Iceland, it's about a woman and her family, Sarah Moss, relocating to Iceland. Love that. Love about people moving to different places and finding out about their different cultures. Another book, A Year of Living Danishly, really much enjoyed that. Just having a look to see what other ones I've got up there that I love. Oh, This Is Going to Her, obviously, an absolute fave. Why Did You Stay by Rebecca Humphreys, about a toxic relationship she was in. Yeah, so I do very much enjoy non-fiction when it's about something I enjoy, and this might well be where we're going to next. So this is Reach for the Stars, and this is all about pop stars from 1996 to 2006. So this was my golden era. This is from me, 1996 to 2006 is me between the ages of 10 and 20. So some big changes going on there, but also like very highly influenced by the Spice Girls, by everyone that was, yeah, going on. And it's got some quotes on here by some absolute, like, some people that I'm excited about. So Richard Osman says, a brilliant, celebratory, gossipy history, you'll love it. People of Girls Aloud have said it, that they really enjoyed it. Greg James has said, I can't think why anyone wouldn't love this book. So it's all about pop culture in, like, and pop music in the UK, gossip and everything between that decade. So I think it's going to be, and it's got some interviews with certain people, and yeah, chapters about the Sugar Babes, chapters about, I mean, S Club 7. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Very, very excited about like the making of bands and things like that. So yeah, I feel like if I want to go to a bit of non-fiction about something that I'm going to really enjoy, then this might be the place to go. So I will start this weekend for definite, because I always like to have maybe a non-fiction and a fiction book on the go at the same time. And then the 6 fiction books I picked are, 5 of them are library books, and then one of them is a book that I have here. I thought would be on the Women's Prize long list, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll get that read soon because that'll be on the Women's Prize long list, but it wasn't. But yeah, these are ones that I picked up and I think would be page turners, the ones that I think could really interest me. So first of all, we've got Pet by Catherine Chidgey. This is one I thought was going to be on the Women's Prize long list. This is about Justine. She's 12 and she's really drawn to her teacher, and everybody in the class longs to be the teacher's pet. It says here, however, when a thief begins to target the school, Justine's sense that something isn't quite right grows ever stronger. With each twist of the plot, this gripping story of deception and the corrosive power of guilt takes a yet darker turn. Young as she is, Justine must decide where her loyalties lie. And this is set in New Zealand in 1984 and 2014. Catherine Chidgey also wrote Remote Sympathy, which was on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list a couple of years ago, and I read that and really enjoyed it, and that was a completely different book to this. So high hopes for this, having enjoyed that and feeling like it sounds great. Then I've got Oh Sister by Jodie Chapman, which I've heard a few good things about, and also pink and green on the front cover, yes please. So it says, meet Isabel, Jen and Zelda, 3 women whose bodies and minds are not their own. They belong to the church. Life and death decisions are taken by others on their behalf, who they might marry, whether they start a family. Isabel and Jen know nothing of the world, but when Isabel's husband leaves her and Jen challenges those in charge, the church turns its back on them. Zelda, never one for doing what is expected, dares to find hope on the outside. Meet Isabel, Jen and Zelda, 3 women desperate to find a life to call their own. This is a novel about what it is like to live inside a prison of the mind and how you can break out of it if you can. Which I thought sounded quite good. So all of these I'm excited about, but I'll put the ones that I'm more excited about at the top of the pile. So at the moment, I'm more excited about Pet than Oh Sister, so we'll start with Pet. Then I've got 17, a coming of age story by Jo Gibson. I don't know if this is if this is fiction or non-fiction. Oh, so Joe Gibson is a pseudonym, 17 in his first book. Oh, lovely. Right, okay, so it says this is set in the 90s as well. We're seeing a theme. Like every other 17-year-old boy, Joe has one eye on his studies, the other on his social life, smoking Britpop girls. He's looking ahead to a gap year full of travel and adventure before university when his teacher, attractive mid-30s, takes an interest in him. It seems like a fantasy come true. That's weird. 2 books about teachers and 2 books about the 90s. For his final 2 years at school, he is bound to her, a woman twice his age, in an increasingly tangled web of coercion, sex and lies. Their affair, a product of complex grooming and a shocking abuse of authority, is played out in the corridors of one of Britain's major private schools, under the noses of people who suspected, even knew but said nothing. 30 years on, this is Joe's gripping record of the illicit relationship that dominated his adolescence and dictated the course of his life. With a heavy dose of the 90s nostalgia and the perfect captured mood of those final months at school, 17 charts the enduring legacy of deceit and the indelibility of decisions made at 17. So I think that's top of the pile at the moment. So yeah, we'll go there first. Then I've got Butter by Asako Yuzuki, which is translated by Polly Barton. This is sort of like a crime book set with food themes. It's a big one. But yeah, I think it looks great. It's also due back at the library before any of these other ones are, so maybe it should take precedence. But we're going on what I want to read. So gourmet cook Maneko Kaji sits in Tokyo detention house convicted of the serial murder of lonely businessman who she is said to have seduced with her delicious home cooking. The case has captured the nation's imagination, but Kaji refuses to speak with the press. That is until journalist Rika Machida writes a letter asking for a recipe for beef stew, and Kaji can't resist writing back. Rika, the only woman in her news office, works late each night, rarely cooking more than ramen. As the visits unfold between her and Kaji, they seem closer to a masterclass in food than journalistic research. Rika hopes this gastronomic exchange will help soften the steely Kaji, but it seems that Rika might be the one changing. With each meal she eats, something is awakening in her body. Might she and Kaji have more in common than she once thought? It says, a runaway international bestseller inspired by the real case of the con woman known as the Konkatsu killer. Asako Yuzuki's Butter, translated by Polly Barton, is a vivid, unsettling exploration of misogyny, obsession, romance, and the transgression of pleasures of food in Japan. Sounds really good, doesn't it? What do I want to read? I mean, I'm going to try the first chapter of these eventually, so I still think maybe this is a bit more, but yeah, that does sound great. Does sound really good. And then I've got YN by Esther Yee, another Europa book, the second of this. So I feel excited about this. I read 2 of my favourite books I read last year were I'm a Fan and Idle Burning, which were both sort of about fan culture. Yeah, I really enjoyed them a lot. And I had and when I'd mentioned how much I enjoyed those, quite a few people said, well, you should try YN by Esther Yee. So this is surreal, hilarious and shrewdly poignant, a novel about a Korean-American woman living in Berlin whose obsession with a K-pop idol sends her to Seoul on a journey of literary self-destruction. It's as if her life only began once Moon appeared in it. The desultory copywriting work, the boyfriend and the want of everything not Moon quickly fall away when she beholds the idol in concert, where Moon dances as if his movements are creating their own gravitational field. On live streams as fans from around the world comment in dozens of languages, even on skincare products endorsed by the wildly popular Korean boy band, of which Moon is the youngest, most luminous member. Seized by ineffable desire, our unnamed narrator begins writing YN fanfic, in which you, the reader, insert your name, that's what YN stood for, I thought it stood for yes, no, and play out an intimate relationship with the unattainable star. Then Moon suddenly retires, vanishing from the public eye. As YN flies from Berlin to Seoul to be with Moon, our narrator too journeys to Korea in search of the object of her love. There, an escalating series of mistranslations and misidentification lands her at the headquarters of the Kafka-esque entertainment company that manages the boy band until, at a secret location, together with Moon at last, art and real life approach their final convergence. So yeah, I mean, that sounds great too. Where am I going to put that in the link? I think maybe above Oh Sister, but after Pet. And then the last one is Girl 11 by Amy Suter Clark. And I always find that crime books are always page turners for me. And this is a book about a podcast that's being run looking into this case. So it says here, victims. 20 years ago, the Countdown Killer went on a deadly spree. Each victim was a year younger than the last. Vigilante, true crime podcaster El Castillo has long been hell-bent on finding him and serving historic justice. Vengeance. Now he's back. El must stop the countdown before the killer can claim his next victim. And yeah, it's sort of told in script way because it's told over a podcast. So I recently read the Nikki French book. Has anyone seen Charlotte Salter? I think that's what it's called. And that has elements of podcasting in as well. And I do think it's a fresh way to look at a crime book because sort of podcasting is relatively new, not super new, but yeah, I thought this would be great as well. So I'm going to put that at the bottom, but that's still to say I'm excited about it. So these are the books that I'm excited about. I'll definitely be picking up Reach for the Stars because, like I said, I want to have a non-fiction and a fiction on the go at the same time. So I think I'll start trying 17, a coming of age story, then I'll go on to Butter, then Pet, then YN, then Oh Sister, and then Girl 11. I mean, that's if I love 17, then I'll just carry on reading that until I finish it. But if I'm like, oh, I want something to grip me instantly. I want to feel gripped. I want to feel excited. So I'm going to go make myself some toast. I made myself a cup of tea, which I've barely touched. We're 20 minutes into this already and we've just been chatting about books. I mean, all exciting books. But yeah, at this point, if you're watching this and thinking, and tell me what book you would probably pick up first, because I'd be interested in hearing. So yeah, toast. And then I'll get ready and then I'm going to go to Blue Water. Also, I should have mentioned when I go to Blue Water, I'm going to go to Waterstones and pick up the new Marion Keyes book because I love Marion Keyes and she hasn't had a new book out for, I think, maybe 3 years. The last book she put out was Oh Rachel, which I listened to on audiobook. It's called My Favourite Mistake. And yeah, I always like her writing and reminds me of lockdown because I read her book previous to that during lockdown. And they're always really big and chunky and you get very involved with the family and like you feel like part of it and it's nice to sort of dive in and out. So I thought that would also be a nice treat for me to read a book that I probably know I'm going to enjoy. So yeah, and a new thing for me to really love women's contemporary fiction. I'm drinking this, it's cold. Let's go and make a new cup of tea and some toast and I will start... Will I start Reach for the Stars or will I start 17? Maybe I'll start both. We'll see. Oh God, but before I go and have the toast, I forgot I'm supposed to do the lit chat question. And it's the last lit chat question because we've done 50 of these now. This is the 50th one. And then we will start again by when we do our next Friday reading vlog by asking the question at the bottom of the thing. And then when we've done all 100, I mean, what do we do? Do we go back to the beginning again? I can't believe it. I can't believe I've done 50 Friday reading vlogs. More than, because at Christmas I was asking you for questions. So the last question is from the card of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And the question is, one day your parents decide you should no longer attend ordinary school. Instead you'll be sent off to the fictional school of your choice. Where would you go? There's going to be a lot of the same answers for this question, I bet. One day, your parents decide you should no longer attend ordinary school. Instead, you will be sent off to the fictional school of your choice. Where would you go? Answer that below. I will answer at the end of the video. Let's get toast, please. I'm so hungry. David's just on a Teams call and he hasn't said anything for ages and then he just burst into song singing happy birthday. So it's obviously someone's birthday on the Teams call, but he's just been so quiet for so long and then all of a sudden just started singing happy birthday.
There was too many. I come in late and there was conversations going on, so I kind of...
Oh.
It's one of those where I just had to sit and listen.
It was very cute. But yeah, I'm showered. I'm dressed in this, which I consider quite a 90s top actually. Something about checkerboard reminds me of 90s, and this green really reminds me of the Impulse spray that was available in that era. Do you remember it? I think it was the O2 one. Oh God, I used to love an Impulse spray. There was a Spice Girls one as well, so I was well into that. But yeah, so I've been, the reason I was reminded of it is because I've read the introduction. Might have been the foreword, yeah, the intro, and then a list of the people that are going to be featuring in this book, and it's a lot of people I recognise. I'm very, very excited. One of the weird things though was that one of the names of this, I dream quite a lot. I barely remember sort of specifics of my dreams, but I dream quite a lot. And last night I had a dream which had a girl in that I used to go to school with. Now I didn't know her well at school at all. Her sister was in my sister's year as well, but like I barely probably spoke to her, I would say, but weirdly she was in my dream last night, and her name, not her, it's a different person, appears in that book of people that are going to be in the book, which is just bizarre, isn't it? Things like that ever happen. Like, literally haven't thought about her for years, and then there she was in my dream last night and there's her name in that book. Spoopy. So yeah, so I'm just getting ready now. Gonna straighten my hair and do my fringe, and then I'm gonna head to Blue Water via the library, because I've got a few books to pick up from the library and one to drop off, and I've got some reservation fees to pay. So my library, I mean, whoever has cash on them anymore? Not me. And when I go to my library, it costs £1 to reserve a book, and I've been doing that quite a lot this year. Now, you can pay that online, but for me it feels like a bit of an arse-ache to pay £1 online if I'm putting a reservation on. So I normally wait for it to build up to about 5 or 10, so I can pay. But so at the moment it was on like £2 or something. But every time I go into the library, the librarians act like I'm absolutely sick. They're like, and are you going to pay the fees today? And I'm like, well, have you got a card machine? And they say no, and I'm like, well, no, I'll pay it online when it gets up to... They really think I'm taking them for a ride. Well, it just so happens I happen to have £5 on me today, so I can pay my £2 reservation fee, so that will cheer them all. So yeah, so I'm going to pick up some books on the way. It's wine time this Friday, so wine time that I take my niece to sometimes, but my mum's taking her today, so I'll probably see them in there. And then off we go to Bluewater to go to Waterstones, which I'm really excited about, but I must curb myself because as you can see, I've got quite enough going on here. I've got 7 books that I really want to read anyway, so I will get that Marion Keyes book. Sometimes they have like a little cheeky Waterstones edition as well, which sometimes has like nice sprayed edges or like bonus material or something. So I'll get that. I'll get something for dinner. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do for dinner. Hopefully David will be off the phone by the time I leave. And I'm going to have a look in H&M Home to see if I can get some napkins, because following on from what I was planning to do for my sister's birthday present, I was going to cross stitch her a disco ball and put it in the frame. Well, I've tried it and it looks rubbish. So I was thinking maybe I'll get some napkins, and I've got soluble Ada now that I bought last week. Look how high that is. And I was thinking maybe I'll cross stitch her some napkins, and I think she'd really like that. She's the sort of woman that would use napkins. So, yeah, I was thinking if I can get some like relatively, and I can get them like in nice neutrals, and then put a nice, I thought that'd be quite a nice gift, wouldn't it? Personalised napkins. Someone gave me personalised napkins, I'd lose my mind. So yeah, so I think I've gone from, I mean, if I can find a way to make the, to make it work with the disco ball in the frame, then I will. But if not, I've got those frames for something else, so that's also fine. Right, well, I'm going to crack on with this then. I'm listening to the Wolf and Owl podcast, and I've got 18 minutes left. So by the time this is finished, I would like to be ready to leave for the day. So, yeah, I'm going to go and do that. And I'll see you a bit later. I don't know when, but later. Success!
No, it's not. There's an extra little...
David's got to watch the end of... What is it? Shameless. Well, I had a lovely time. I had a really lovely time. By the way, look at the napkins I got. She's going to love them, isn't she?
Oh, they're nice.
So I bought, they were into, David, these weren't even out on the shelves yet. I found them in like one of those dump things that the staff members were putting on the shelves. So yeah, look at these scalloped edged and sewn napkins. £3.50 they were for 2, which I was like, oh, that's still quite expensive. But then when I went in H&M Home, they were £4.99 for 1 for a similar thing, not as nice as this. So I've got to work out what I want to cross stitch across there. I think she's gonna love it. Hello, baby. We need to do your nails. Should we do them now?
Live on camera?
Yeah, let me go and get them, and you can see, you can compare Daphne's nails to Minnie's nails.
No. Oh, do you know? She doesn't like it, but she's. Oh yeah, she's. I think she knows. It should be in that cupboard somewhere. On the right. It's okay. She doesn't like it, but she lets us. Oh, you got away. Where are you looking? On the right or left?
On the right.
It should be there.
Another time. I've got too much stuff to do. But you are so beautiful, and everyone can see that for truth.
Mm.
Look at you. Look at. Oh, stroking Daddy because I'm going to look at you. Love you. Right. So yeah, got those. Also got My Favourite Mistake by Marion Keyes. Anna has just lost her taste for the Big Apple. She has a life to envy, an apartment in New York, a well-meaning, too well-meaning partner, and a high-flying job in beauty PR. Who wouldn't want all that? Anna, it turns out. Trading a minor midlife crisis for a major life event, she switches the skyscrapers of Manhattan, and this is where it hits, for the tiny Irish town of Maunder, population 1,271, helping old friends Bridget and Colm set up a luxury coastal retreat. Tougher than it sounds, newsflash, the locals hate the idea. So much so, there have been threats and violence. Anna, however, worked in the beauty industry. There's no ugliness she hasn't seen, no wrinkle she can't smooth over. There's just one fly in the ointment, her old flame, Joey Armstrong. He's going to be her wingman. Never mind their checkered history, never mind what might have been, because no matter how far you go, your mistakes will still be waiting for you. I believe this to be linked to the Rachel books. I think Anna, if I remember rightly, is Rachel's sister, maybe? Some sort of relation, we'll find out. But yeah, excited about that. So yeah, I went and ate in Rosa's Thai Cafe and had an absolutely lovely time and read the first chapter of Reach for the Stars. And do you know what? I thought, oh, I'll take a little photo while I'm in here. I was like, no. I'm not even gonna get my phone out. I'm literally just gonna sit and read and eat this delicious food. So I read 64 pages and it was, as I said, the first chapter was all about the Spice Girls. So what I will say is that this is not gonna win any prizes for the most beautiful writing. In fact, the first chapter was a series of quotes pulled together from various interviews that the author, Michael Cragg, has done with some people for this book, but sometimes taken from articles from before. So like the Jerry Halliwell quotes were taken from an article that he did with her in Beat magazine, for Beat magazine in summer 2016. The Emma Bunton quotes taken from The Guardian, March 2019, same as the All Saints quotes. And yeah, I feel like this specific time for me is such a time that I remember so well. And it was really great to relive, like, hearing those stories about how the Spice Girls got together and them calling out all this misogyny and stuff that was going on, and people saying they'd never seen anything like them. And because that's how I felt when I saw them, particularly Jerry Halliwell, who seems to have like had a bit of a personality transplant these days, but I'd never seen a woman like her before, and I was so wowed by her sort of, at the time, like, she was like a man. She knew what she wanted to get, and that to me were all things that I associated with like manliness and being assertive and things like that. Now obviously I think completely different, but yeah, I loved reading it. It was so fun. And when I was reading, as I was eating I'll tell you what I was eating in a minute, a curry, I was like, oh god, just loving it so much. So the next chapter is still about the Spice Girls. It's about the Spice Girls going solo. So yeah, we'll continue with this, but like not going to win any prizes for wonderful writing, but pulling together stuff. So I went to Rosa's Thai Cafe for lunch. So while I was up there, because I got up there, bought myself bought my colleague a Blue Water voucher. I went into Waterstones, bought that, got the lovely napkins, and then I was like, well, do you know what, I'm going to treat myself to a lunch. And I thought, I won't go to somewhere where David would like to go because he'll be sad, because I was thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind going for a pizza or something. So I went to Rosa's Thai Cafe, which David doesn't mind, but I love. And they had a lunch menu on there today for £13. It's such a bargain. And you get a starter, and I had veggie summer rolls, which I love, like all those sort of veggies in a rice paper. And then for main, I had tofu Penang curry, which was lovely, which has also got aubergine in it, with jasmine rice. And then you get a drink with that as well. However, I did sort of upgrade my drink a little bit, so I would have a bubble tea with it and a big glass of water, which was lovely, although I'm still thirsty now. But yeah, it was so nice to just sit, and I was in there an hour, and like I said, didn't even get my phone out my bag, just sat there reading, just having a lovely time. So very nice. And then on the way, I did pop to the library and I picked up Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan, which I was really shocked at how small this is. This is on the Women's Prize long list. Before the Queen Falls Asleep by Hazama Habib. And then somebody mentioned Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. When I said that I was having a horrible time with my reading this year, horrible feels a bit dramatic, but like not getting on with any books that I was reading this year, someone said they just finished Pineapple Street. Oh, I think a bird just flew into our window. They just finished Pineapple Street and they'd really loved it. So I saw it on the shelves there and I was like, great, I'll pick that up. And my niece was there in Baby Rhyme Being All Shy. Baby Wine. So I'm now going to go and make that cake. I just said to my sister, what time is she getting? Oh, okay, so I was going to take a bit of cake there, but I won't be there in time. Never mind. yeah, I was going to offer to take cake to my mum and dad's to meet my sister there, but I won't. I've got a necklace that I want fixing. So I'm going to take it to my mum and dad's now, and I was going to take the cake with them to be like, and I've bought cake. So I'm going to go make the cake now. Come, come, come. Vanilla and bay loaf ready to make the first. So I've got this stoneware. A lot of my stuff is stoneware because I used to work for Pampered Chef and I got a lot of stuff cheaper. And then I got a whole host of these liners when David made a cake earlier. So hopefully they'll go in there. So what we need for this is 40 ml of milk, 3 bay leaves, fresh from my sister's garden, 170 grams of soft unsalted butter, 170 grams of caster sugar, 1 heaped teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3 medium free range eggs, 230 grams of self-raising flour. There's more than that, I've got some in there, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So, heat the milk in a small saucepan with bay leaves. When it comes to the boil, immediately turn off the heat and leave to steep. She's getting her steep on. This is the point at which I need to speed you up. I will speed you up now. And this has never happened ever, but one of the eggs we had was rotten. So, and it was the last one we put in the mix, so we've completely wasted this whole thing.
Oh,
That's just, oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, that is absolutely stinky.
So we have to do it again.
Change your top.
Oh yeah.
Go on your top. Sorry, bub. That's all.
That was rank.
It was rank.
I smelled it instantly.
Yeah.
Right, let's get it out of here then. Oh my god. Take 2. God, that was so. It didn't smell like rotten eggs. It smelled just like really stale. It was horrible. And David said when he cracked it, it really spurted, which was rank. So I don't know if it was like just really watery inside or something. But anyway, it's been resolved. The only thing that has changed is that I'm making this now with spread instead of butter. So it should be all right though for baking, I'm sure. Stephanie's seen something out the window and I can only see her tail and it's absolutely losing it. Come and have a look. Oh, it's stopped now, obviously, now you've come, but it was like... And she was going... So 36 minutes until the cake's done. And then it's got to wait for 5 minutes. You look quite cute with your little hoodie on, don't you? And then I'm going to take it round to my mum and dad's. You coming?
Yeah.
What have we decided about the cinema?
Well, I want to go. Do you want to go?
Yeah, well, it's not until 8:30, so we've got a while to decide, yeah, haven't we?
Well, I am going.
Oh, you are going? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I want to go?
That normally means no.
No, but I want to go for you.
Don't have to go for me.
And I think it'll be quite
You've
fun.
already been to the cinema this week.
Yeah. Well, see if my dad wants to go in my place.
Alright.
And if not, I'll go. But the thought of cooking dinner fills me a bit like...
Oh, I didn't know if you want to see if your mum and dad wanted to do anything.
Well, we can when we're all around there. We'll ask. What are you guys having for dinner? And she'll say like, oh, chicken. And I'll say, oh, that's a shame, I was going to stay for dinner.
And I'll say, well, I can then.
And she'll say, oh, I've got a couple of corn. She likes those like corn fillets. When she does a roast dinner, we don't go around there for a roast dinner all that often, but whenever she does a roast dinner, she always does me like fake corn fillets, which are dry. And I just say, I'll just have the veg and potatoes, it's fine. Right, anyway, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to read the next chapter of Reach for the Stars, which is about, as I said, the Spice Girls going solo. And then I think I'll dip in back into 17, which, by the way, is a memoir, so it's non-fiction. I was going to say I'll read a chapter of that, but it's only like a page and a bit. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, let's see. But yeah, onwards. Who do you think you are? The Spice Girls going solo. I said, who do you think you are? Do you think you are? That was a fave of mine as well. I mean, I think it looks lovely. It's very firm. The only thing is I wish these hadn't curled up, because I think they'd look really impressive upon it, like as if it had done this. Oh, that one's the other way up, so maybe that's what I should have done. These two are this way up, that must mean that they've curled, and that one hasn't. But yeah, it's very firm. I'm very pleased. I'm going to take it out of here. Oh, where am I? Oh yeah. I'll take it out of here now, hold on. It has left. Something I will find strange is that it's always so oily in there. I don't know why. Like, look. What's created that oil? There's nothing in there. Yeah, I'm going to put it on a plate, and we're going to drive to my mum and dad's now with it upon my lap. Hello. It's Friday night. Come on, Daphne, it's Friday night. Let's celebrate. It's Friday night, and I didn't go to the cinema. We went to my mum and dad's to get my necklace fixed and to drop off the cake, which went down. I didn't feel much reacting to it. I left the rest of it. There was a third left at my mum and dad's. It was fine. It was quite delicately spiced, let's say, delicately flavoured, with 3 bay leaves that have been sort of steeped in milk. Milk. Oh, how'd they be steeped? What's the steeped bit? The milk or the bay leaves? Who knows? But yeah, quite delicately spiced. I probably would make it again. It rose beautifully and looked lovely. I'm sort of tempted to maybe think about making it on for Sunday, but I feel like it would transport well, but who knows? But yeah, we ended up staying there for dinner. And then I was sort of umming and ahhing. Do I want to go to... Sorry, you're moving a bit. No, Daphne, not while I'm filming, you cheeky girl. Do I want to go to the cinema? It's 8:30, the film starts, which means it doesn't even finish until 11:15. So it's only just gone 10:15, so David still won't even be out of the cinema until for another half hour. Or do I want to go home, have a bath, and read another chapter of Reach for the Stars, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So I've just been in the bath, and I've read another chapter. That chapter was all about the boy band 5. 5, what you waiting for? If you want a 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, let's do it! And we're about to move on to Thanks Steps for the music. Steps, guys, was my first ever concert. It was at Wembley, and I went with a friend of mine from school called Lottie. Her dad drove us, and yeah, I remember being really, really tired afterwards and sort of waking up just as we came over the Dartford Bridge and being like, oh God, we're still not home yet. That is an incredibly kind thing to do for like parents, to take their children to like a concert of which they're not going to enjoy at all and which is going to cost them a lot of money. Incredibly kind. I remember once when my friend Neve and I went to watch Example at the O2, and the tickets, we were up in the like level 2, really, really high up. I think the tickets were like 65 quid a pop, even then, which was a lot of money. And in front of us there was 2 parents and then 4 kids, and all the kids, they couldn't give a shit. And I thought, oh my God, you've spent so much money and all these kids just don't care. So yeah, so I'm now in bed. I'm going to read another chapter, and then I think I'll read a chapter of 17. I think I will enjoy 17. I just think I'm enjoying this a bit more. It's very, very easily readable. Like I said, like it's continued with the style of sort of just having interviews and pulling together quotes and stuff. Reminds me a little bit of the way in which Daisy Jones and the Six is written, which I also enjoyed the reading experience of. So yeah, but I'm having a great time with it, guys. I mean, there's certain things that that happened in pop culture that I was like, oh, I wonder why that has happened, and never really looked into it. And so one of the main things was that the boy band 5, what you waiting for? Weirdly, David and I listened to the megamix of 5's megamix the other day, and there was 5 of them in the band. And then towards the end of their career, one of their third last single was called Let's Dance, beat it after beat it, won't you know? Let you know that I got what you like. And one of the boy band, Sean, isn't in the video, and they've got a cardboard cutout of him. And I always thought, I wonder what's going on there. Daphne, no, Daphne. And it was always said that he had glandular fever, but it wasn't. He was, as many pop stars had back in those days, I imagine, a mental breakdown, and they didn't really know what to do with him, and they told all the other members of the boy band, don't contact him, he doesn't want to be bothered, just leave him. And he didn't want that at all. He thought everyone had sort of abandoned him. But yeah, and I'd always heard other things. Oh God, she's running around after this. I'd always heard other things about another member of the boy band called Jay, who I'd heard was a drug addict. It doesn't mention that at all, but he was definitely not for fame. He wasn't, which just blew my mind a bit, but yeah. Lots of gossip, as Richard said. A brilliant celebratory gossipy history, you'll love it. And I am loving it. But I'm now going to sit and read the next chapter on steps and read a chapter of 17, I think. Look at this little tail. Who does this belong to? Who do you think? Come over here. Do you want to show more of yourself rather than just the top of your tail? Do you want to come and have a look? Come here. Look, here she is, a beautiful baby. She's shedding so much. I just can't get it. I just can't, like, however much I brush her. I gave her the most intense brush earlier, and look, even now, just running my hands over her, absolutely full of it. All my meals contain this. When I'm putting moisturiser on, I'm finding I've got bits of fur stuck in it. What will we do with you, Deppy? Minnie was very fluffy, so didn't really shed very much. Look, I'm going to go because I'm talking to you, because David's not here, so I've got no one to talk to, so I'm just talking to you. But yeah, I'm going to read some of my book. I'm very excited about it. Let's go back to it. Well, would you bloody well believe it? I'm going to do parkrun again. Just sent David to try and find my sunglasses, because I don't know what I've done with them. Were they in there?
No.
Oh, backpack maybe? Backpack maybe? My backpack maybe?
Maybe.
So look, it's the first run of week 3, which I can't quite remember what it is. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I have to put on my really boring running jumper then.
Oh my God, she's had another poo.
She hasn't.
Yeah.
She has done the stinkiest poo already this morning, and she's doing another one. I've never known a cat to poo so much and for it to stink so much. Get it straight in that toilet, David.
Oh my God, it's bigger than the last one.
She's just a poo machine. She's just a poo machine.
Oh.
Right, I need to have a look for these sunglasses of the sun variety, and then and then we can make a move. Backpack maybe. Right. Are you wearing your sunglasses?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, look for those, and then I'm going for a run, babe. Right.
Yeah.
What else do you need to get?
Dinner.
So, oh, that's not gone very nice at all. I finished the cross stitch, and the good news is I've got a frame that fits it.
I just wrote down dinner.
You fell in?
I just wrote down dinner.
You just wrote down dinner.
I don't know what I want.
David's now off to the supermarché to get a few bits, because I'm going to make some muffins for Tom for tomorrow. He's going to Chatham Dockyard. And I'm about to make just a little card to put on top. So we've already done a card with work, because I did a collection at work. That's why I went to Blue yesterday. But I just want a little card just to say that just a little thing from me to say happy anniversary. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'll put this across here and I'll write their names in there, and then I'll write on the back, not a happy anniversary, congratulations on your wedding day. So I'm going to do it, like, I'm going to make this all wet using a big brush, and then I'm going to put in colours and just let it sort of take its own way, really. So I'll bring you down so you can see what's happening. Yeah, I will. So yeah, more water just going on. I'm not going to completely soak it, but enough so that the paint can travel. Also, this is curling up already, which is a bit annoying. So under here will stay blank. And then I've just got some pre-mixed colours over here, which you can't see, that I'm just going to drop on. And they'll move. Oh God, this is so annoying that it's sort of broken a bit, like it's... The Gusto's arrived. I also forgot to mention, so I'm going to make lunch once I've emptied the Gusto, but I also forgot to mention that yesterday on the way to and from Bluewater, I was listening to Dolly Alderton's new book, Good Material. This is actually the book we bought David's sister for our birthday. Following a comedian and his breakup from his long-term girlfriend, and so far we've sort of gone back to, we've gone back to how they met, and not these, this. Gone back to how they met, and yeah, I mean, it's fine so far. I'm enjoying it an alright amount. Yeah, let's have a look and see what we've got. So I'm going to do now pea and leek soup with chili jam and goat's cheese toasts. David, I love soup. David doesn't hate soup, but if I was to say to him, oh, we got soup for dinner, he'd be devastated. So I'm gonna make that for lunch. He's just popped out to get the bits for the muffins and some other bits. Tomorrow we're gonna have mushroom Wellington with onion gravy and mash. I mean, could that be more Sunday? I do not know. Monday we're having halloumi souvlaki style sandwich with tzatziki. And Tuesday, Turkish style kizir bulgur with roasted tomato and courgette. So it all, to me, looks lovely. I always do share my link down below. I think at the moment it is 65% off your first box and then 25% off the first 2 months. And I get 20 pounds, which would be nice. But yeah, I'm going to continue to listen to the audiobook and empty this and make the soup, by which point David should be back from the shops. He's also going to get the car washed as well. This looks delicious, Daphne. These are little toasty wise. And here's the soup. It's difficult to show you soup, isn't it? It's green and it looks nice. I did try calling David, but no answer. So we'll see him when he gets back, I guess. Oh, I'm gonna read a little bit more of Reach for the Stars. First time I picked up a book today, and it's 2:30 and I'm still in my sweaty running clothes. Lovely. This one's about From Billy to Blue, the influence of innocent records. Let's go. Just trying to work out if it's snowing out the window or if it's just really fine rain. It has been very, very cold today. It's Sunday now, by the way. Hi. The wedding was lovely. My outfit was lovely. And then today we've spent the day at Chatham Dockyard in Kent, celebrating my cousin Laura's husband Tom's birthday, which was in February, but this is what we bought him. They've got a lifeboat RNLI 200 years exhibition there, so we had a look around that. And when you buy tickets to that place, you get it for the year. So David and I are going to make sure we go back. My dad already has a ticket there, so we're going to maybe go with my dad one day in May. David wants to see, they've got a ropery there where they make rope. It's a very interesting place. It's really beautifully looked after. And I've seen them making rope. They only do it during the week because it's a working ropery. But David would like to see them making rope, so we're going to maybe head down there one day in the week to go, which would be nice. But yeah, so got back, had a bath. I'm so tired, and I think it's because last week I felt really tired as well. I think last week it was because I did park run, which I'm not used to doing, and then went singing. And then yesterday I did park run and then had a late night because it was a wedding. And then I've done quite a lot of walking today. So yeah, just done a few chores in the kitchen, wiped down all the cupboard doors while I was waiting for the washing to finish. Is it snowing? I think it's just really light rain. And cleaned the kettle, descaled it with some vinegar. I've got a lovely new big bottle of vinegar and I can't open the top, so I'm waiting for David to get out of the bath. So I had a bath when I got in. And now I think I'm just going to sit and read Reach for the Stars a little bit more because I'm having such a lovely time with this. I've just read a whole chapter on S Club 7. If you're a sort of like 90s, noughties pop person like I am, you just can't go wrong with this. Oh no, it got vented. But I'm about to read a chapter on the UK garage scene, which came in when I was a youngster. I remember very vividly. Rewind. When the crowd say "Bo, selector," and actually, when I was at the wedding last night, they played some absolutely awesome garage tunes that I hadn't heard in a long, long time. So, yeah, I'm going to sit and read this, I think. And then we've got a delicious gusto for dinner. We've got the mushroom Wellington, which is proper Sunday. And then I think we're going to watch a film tonight. It's David's choice, so I don't know what he's going to pick. But yeah, just feeling very chilled. So I think I'm just going to chill and read for a bit. I think that's what I'm going to do. Need to wrap up the video at some point, but I don't think that's now. I don't think I'll be wrapping it up now. Ugh, Monday, where it's May next week, and I am literally... Are you not cold, David?
I mean, not as much, but I was cooking dinner, so...
Oh, that's true, yeah. David's over there in a t-shirt. I'm here to wrap up the vlog. But I thought, before I wrapped up the vlog, I'd just have a little check-in about my Women's Prize for Fiction reading, because I haven't done anything for that. And this will be going out the morning that the Women's Prize for Fiction shortlist will be being announced. So the long list was 16 books, the shortlist will be 6 books. I have read 8 of them and DNF'd 1. And then I've got one that I'm going to start. If I don't start it tonight, I'll start it tomorrow. Restless, Dolly, Maunder, because that's from my Patreon book club. But I've also got interests in reading In Defence of the Act and Ordinary Human Failing. So the ones that I've read have been The Maiden, The Wren, Brotherless Night, 8 Lives of a Century-Year-Old Trickster, Nightbloom, River East, River West, A Taste of Sun, and Western Lane. And I'll be honest with you guys, if I could pick one word to sum it up, I think I'd go boring. Now, 2 I have enjoyed. I've very much enjoyed Brotherless Night and Nightbloom. When I read them both, I gave them 4 stars and was like, they're both great. On reflection, I've knocked them both down to well, let's say 3.25 stars, because I've gone between 3 stars and 3.5 stars. Both very good books, very engaging. Brotherless Night in particular, educated me on a part of Sri Lankan history that I had no idea of. In fact, I had not much idea about anything to do with Sri Lanka, despite working with 2 Sri Lankan people. But I found it very engaging and really touching in parts. So maybe, okay, I'll be fair, that's a 3.5. Nightbloom, I also really enjoyed. I enjoyed the sort of like cousin representation. You don't hear much about cousins in books. But yeah, both of those I enjoyed. The rest has been So I DNF'd Enter Ghost. The deal is with Enter Ghost is that I only had 100 pages left of it and it needed to go back to the library. And I thought I could absolutely plough through these and get it done, but I just didn't feel the need to. And for me, Enter Ghost, despite the setting, I was very interested in reading a book set in Palestine. It felt just dry, like really long-winded, and it was a big font copy that I'd got from the library, which I enjoy because it means I don't have to wear glasses in the bath when I'm reading it. But it just felt endless, and I'd sit and read it for like sort of half hour and I'd think I've only done about 18 pages, and they were big font pages as well. So yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. If we go through the rest of them that I've read, The Maiden was fine, but I've read much better historical fiction, so it feels mad to me that that's the one that made it this year. The Wren, I listened to the audiobook of, didn't love it all that much. 8 Lives of a Century-Year-Old Trickster, found that a bit boring. River East, River West, definitely found that boring. A Trace of Sun, found it but boring. Western Lane, found it a bit boring. So it hasn't been ideal for me. I'm keen to read In Defence of the Act and Ordinary Human Failings, both of which I have here. So from this point onwards, now I'm filming this on Monday, so I'm probably not going to start any more of the books before, apart from Restless, Dolly, Maunder, which I'm going to start tonight. I can't see myself starting any of the other ones that are going to be on the shortlist. David's just smiling at Daphne as she's looking out the window. Is she being cute? Has she seen a bird or something? But I will endeavour, because I have at my reach all of the books now. So I've got an Audible credit that I can use on And Then She Fell, because that's the only way I've been able to get hold of it. But yes, whatever's on the shortlist, if there's anything on the shortlist that I haven't read, and I suspect there will be, because there's a couple I think will be on there, I will endeavour to read them before the winner is announced in June. I think Ordinary Human Failings will be on the shortlist. It seems quite popular I also think Soldier Sailor might well be on the shortlist. I haven't really got much interest in reading Soldier Sailor. Every single person that I've listened to has said wonderful things and that they've been completely moved by this, but it's very much every person I've heard either is a mother or wants to be a mother and has linked to it in that way and felt a massive connection to it. Now, I am not a mother, nor do I want to be a mother, so I feel like that might be, that makes me not want to read it, basically. So yeah, I do still think Soldier Sailor will be on there. I think Ordinary Human Failings will be on there. I would love to see Brotherless Night and Nightbloom on there, just because they're two that I've enjoyed. Part of me, I don't know what it is, but I just think 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster is going to be on there, and I think Enter Ghost will be on there as well. So those are the ones, the 6 that I think will be on there. Enter Ghost, Brotherless Night, Nightbloom, Ordinary Human Failings, 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster, and what was the last one I said? Soldier Sailor. So those are my 6 predictions. But we'll see. I mean, because this is going out at 6:30 on Wednesday morning, and at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning it gets announced. I'm at the moment over on my Instagram doing a tell me which book you enjoyed the most, just so I can get an idea of what, as like sort of collective, would be the shortlist. And at the moment, I mean, it's early days, but Brotherless Night's got 4 votes. Nightbloom, In Defence of the Act, and Ordinary Human Failings has got 3 votes. Western Lane's got 2 votes. And Enter Ghost, 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster, Soldier Sailor, and The Maiden. Oh, and River East, River West have got 1 vote. So there we go. So those are my thoughts on the Women's Prize for Fiction shortlist predicts. I'll just make a little note of the ones I did predict, because I'll forget that otherwise. Remind myself again. So what did I say? I said Ordinary Human Failings, Soldier Sailor, Nightbloom, Enter Ghost, 8 Years of a Century-Old Trickster, and Brotherless Night. Those are my 6 that I think it will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Cool, okay, well let's wrap up the rest of this then. So, should we do the piece of music first, David? Would you like to listen along with me to the piece of music?
Yeah, go for it.
It's the 22nd of April today. David and I are about to go out and watch the Amy Winehouse film, which I'm quite looking forward to. And I've just bought us both a 4-finger Kit Kat, so I'm looking forward to that as well. The piece of music today, David, is Danzigaya by Madeleine Dring, who lived between 1925 and 1977. It says Madeleine Dring was an early proponent of the sort of slash career now popular amongst millennials. A talented composer, actress and cartoonist, God, she is talented. She studied at the Royal College of Music and managed to balance a successful career on stage in the West End with writing music for theatre, radio and television. Her influences included Francis Poulenc, and her style is refreshingly unpretentious, impressive for a woman trying to make her voice heard in a landscape still overwhelmingly dominated by men. I imagine she must have been under considerable pressure to do something different, but instead she sticks to her guns and writes pieces of rhythmic vibrancy and great charm. God, I'm excited about this. Her husband, Robert Lord, was an oboist. Oh, I never knew that someone who played the oboe was called an oboist. I assume that's what that is. So it's not surprising that Dring wrote so many pieces for this instrument, including this rumba-inflected dance. This is not music that's going to change the world, but if it doesn't set your toes tapping, I'll eat my hat. Well, let's hope she doesn't have to eat her hat. Oh, God, I've forgotten what it's bloody called already. Do you remember what it was called, David?
No.
It was called Danzigaya. Let's find it and let's listen to it. The last song I was listening to, David, was Baby, 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 no one knows who you are. We unraveled a long time ago. Right, Danzigaya, here we go. Oh, it's very Disney. Well, I found the whole thing quite lovely, actually. Lovely and quite familiar, would you say, David?
Yeah, it was nice.
It felt like I'd heard it before. It was, like I said, it felt a bit Disney-fied. It felt a bit sort of walking through a forest and meeting some enchanted animals, which I'd love to do. What enchanted animal would you like to be friends with you, David?
A bear.
Oh, would you though? But yeah, I suppose it would be good to have one on the side. David, if you could find out, like, if you could make Daphne talk, would you like her to talk, or would you like her not talking?
I'd like her to talk.
What would you think she'd say? Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me sleep. Stop waking me up.
Do you know what I'd say? I'd say, now I know you can understand me, stop fucking biting my feet in the night.
Why'd you poo so much?
Yeah, why'd you poo so much? You poo so much. Anyway, the question we had to answer was, one day your parents decide you should no longer attend ordinary school. Instead, you will be sent off to the fictional school of your choice. Where would you go? I predict a lot of wizarding schools here. I will not pick a wizarding school. I will pick, well, I will pick the school from Nevermoor, but what I will not pick is all the BS that comes with it, because I love the Nevermoor books. The first book where she has to, so it's about, I feel like I've mentioned, because I think Nevermoor comes up quite a lot as an answer for these, because I do think the world building in Nevermoor is great and I love the world of it. So it's following a girl called Morrigan Crow, who is a cursed child destined to die on her 11th birthday, I think it is, and she gets whisked away. Somebody called Jupiter North turns up and whisks her away, and she enters something called the Wondrous Society. She has to pass a series of tests to enter the Wondrous Society, and the first book is about her entering the Wondrous Society, and the second book is a bit about her first year at the Wondrous Society, and then the third book gets a little bit more into the schooling, and actually the third book feels like the bits of the wizarded school stuff that I did love. So like, she's getting into her lessons. There's this one lesson where they sort of learn about map reading and map writing, and that stays with me very vividly. They've got this active, like, interactive map in front of them where they can see where they live and all of these different bits, and they can do certain things in it, and I loved all of that. The teachers sound a bit scary because there's two teachers that live inside one body, but I do think that's a really great, like, a great character thing and something I'd never thought of before, and they sort of like can come out of the body at any time. You don't know who you're going to get. I mean, neither of the teachers are particularly nice, but it's a great thing. And yeah, just interested in her lessons and her room. I'm really into her room as well. She imagines things. Sorry, David, are we keeping you up? Snoring over there with his trousers undone. Her room, she sort of imagines things. So when she moves into her room, it's just a blank room with a bed, and like as the room gets to know her and as she realizes things that she wants, they appear in the room, and it's just lovely. So yeah, I would pick the school in Nevermoor. That is what I would pick. What would you pick? One day your parents decide you should no longer attend ordinary school. Instead, you'll be sent off to the fictional school of your choice. Where would you go? Lovely, lovely. Right, let's read the poem, and then I guess I'll have a wee and we'll go to the cinema. Yeah, David?
True.
If you can stay awake.
Try.
So, the two poems up for pick, and I'll let my husband pick.
I'm going for a wee, so I won't be actually
No, you won't be able to listen, but you just need to pick which one you like the sound of. The Wood Spurge by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, or A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe.
A Dream Within a Dream, because I've heard of Edgar Allan Poe.
From The Simpsons?
Yeah,
yeah.
Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. It says, this work by the American poet Edgar Allan Poe takes as its subject the relationship between reality and fantasy. Oh, that's good, considering what we were just talking about. That's cool. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow, you are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep. O God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is it all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? There we go. So, that's that. I'm off to the cinema, and I'll see you all again soon. Not for a reading vlog. The next video will be my wrap-up of the reading that I've done in the month of April. Let's hope it's a bit better than the rest of the months of the year. See you all again soon. Bye!